You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
what will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. In breaking news, leading scientists worldwide are conducting experiments to determine if Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are the perfect combination of peanut butter and chocolate. However, it appears the study was inconclusive, as the scientists couldn't help but eat all the Reese's. Because when you want something sweet, you can't do better than Reese's. Find Reese's now at a store near you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. And Ken, what time is it?
It's the time of sharing and caring, the holidays.
Or maybe the most wonderful time of the year.
I could have said that.
That's okay.
I chose not to.
You chose not to. That's all right. You took a different path, as Robert Frost told us. Jeff, you love Robert Frost. How are you?
Was that
very
Jack,
frosty outside.
Jack Frost's cousin? Who is that?
I do love Robert Frost. In theory,
Name 2 poems by Robert Frost.
I refuse to stoop to your level.
Yeah, he can't do it.
He can't do it. And the
Jacob
Marley of Triviality, Matt, how are you doing?
I thought I was Tiny Tim.
You can be Tiny Tim if you want, I suppose, but
not the one from Christmas Carol, the one with the ukulele.
I'm always so sick. That's why.
That's true. Yeah, but you need like a bunch of chains and you have to float around the studio. I think it'd be a lot more entertaining. But yeah, Ken, what time is it? Let's tell the listeners. It's
the most wonderful time of year.
It is. It's the holiday season. And we're here once again for a holiday, what do you want to call it, Ken? A grab bag, a potluck?
Yeah, the grab bag.
A grab bag.
Yeah.
And before
we've all got our cocoa.
We've got our cocoa. We've got
Neal's is like half marshmallows
and half peppermint schnapps.
You would be the one to like overfill the marshmallows, I feel.
I once wanted to.
You're just that sweet.
I was once going to try out for the Blue Man Group, by the way, because you know I'm a drummer, just like you are, Ken. But the line was so long outside the studio, I decided to leave because it wasn't worth it.
Is that a real story?
Of tryouts.
And
that had been the most annoying line of all time.
It was, yes, it was. There's a lot of guys talking about their degrees and about music theory, and I said, I don't want to get painted blue for this.
Were people blue already for their auditions?
There was one guy who was blue. I won't
Several
lie.
guys blew their auditions.
I bet you the blue men, when they see a blue guy come in for the auditions, they just roll their blue eyes.
They have to. But I know we're getting
brown eyes. I don't know if you've met them.
Matt has met many blue men.
There was a blue man when I was in Beverly Hills. He went into the bathroom and he came out blue because he had robbed a bank and the ink thing went off over him.
Oh, I thought he had died.
Merry Christmas.
I'm glad it's the ink thing.
He was died.
He was died, yeah.
Maybe he was stealing all that money to give it to everyone like Scrooge at the end of the Christmas Carol to bring it back to the holiday season. But in order to have a potluck, to have a grab bag, we need special guests here, and we're so excited to have our friends back in the studio with us. We've missed them for so long. You may know them as the queens of podcasting, our sisters, or trivia sisters, podcast sisters from Misinformation Podcast. Julia and Lauren, how are you?
We will only be introduced as the queens of podcasting from here on out.
Podcasting. That's quite the title.
I was going to say we're the ghosts of Christmas past and future, but I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine with queen. I'm writing that down. Queens
of podcasting. Yep, I'm going to put that we're going to put it on the website. We're going to quote you on it. Triviality. Queens of podcasting.
Please do. In fact, we'll back that up.
Yeah, we will, and we'll link to your little podcast. What's it called again?
Travelocity.
There it is.
Three guys and their
friends.
There it
is.
Three fun guys.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just one guy, Jeff. Ken.
No, we don't know who. We don't know who.
No. There's two guys. It's Ken McNeil and Jeff. Yes,
that's right. Well, all of our listeners, I think we may have told you this. I can't remember, but when we did our survey last year for all of our listeners, just to see how the show was going and any recommendations, you and your show were by far the most notated collaboration of all the the forms. It was just misinfo.
So we waited a whole year to do it.
2 years to bring us back.
Well, our bribes worked, so I'm glad that we drained our bank accounts for that particular grift.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks
we
for
did
having us
receive
on.
a mysterious package full of dragon fruit. I'm assuming that was you then.
I mean, that's neither here nor there, Neal.
The queens of podcasts.
The queens of podcasting.
Bestowed you with
exotic
dragon
fruits.
So for all our new listeners, hopefully we have some new ones we don't know from around the world. Tell them about your show because we love it and we want them to love it as well.
Fantastic. So yes, Lauren and I co-host Misinformation, a trivia podcast. Each episode we take turns kind of going over a topic and teaching the other one about it. And then at the end of the episode, we have a 10-question quiz, which may or may not be related to the topic that we just discussed. We've had a lot of fun with it. We've had not quite as many episodes as you guys have, but we've done a lot of book reports over the last 5 years. And so you can listen to our back catalog wherever you get your podcasts.
Fine podcasts are sold for free. I will say Dictator December was a theme month that we did. That was a rough one.
Mixed bag
on that one. So we're glad to be doing a holiday.
Maybe don't start there.
Straight
lots
holiday.
of fans from North Korea.
Weirdly enough.
Really? Yeah. Venezuela too, but I mean,
not sure why.
I have to say, we barely have what it takes for the four of us to put together a cohesive, entertaining podcast week to week. And you both have the auspicious ability to do that plus actual research and craft a very well put together show. So
a rare compliment from Jeffrey. My God, am I blushing? I am.
It's in the holiday spirit.
I only have them out when they're truly desered.
He perked up a little bit when you said Dictator December.
I'm still waiting for a compliment one day.
Maybe when we're friends for 20 years. You gotta wait a little bit.
20-year anniversary, I'll be holding my breath.
Is that the 10 anniversary? You get one compliment.
Yeah, you get an empty tin can. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, and we're excited to be on the show. Thanks for having us. We got our questions.
Yeah, we love hanging out with you guys.
Of course. Well, we love it even more, and so excited to have you here. And like we said, it's just going to be a holiday grab bag. So each of us have written 5 questions. I'm doing the final round. Julia is doing the swing round. Everyone else is doing a regular round of 5 questions. And I think we just said we're not really going to keep score. We'll just kind of just hang out as we would in front of the fireplace.
We're just going to talk about the questions.
Yeah.
See how we feel about them.
Speaking of the holiday season, right before we get started, just to bring it home a little bit, like a good old Christmas record. Anything that the holidays embiggen you with, is that a word?
Embolden?
That's probably what I was thinking.
Fine. It's a perfectly cromulent word.
Yes.
There we go. I knew it was a Simpsons reference, but anything, I know we're getting snow now, Ken. So what makes you feel like part of the holiday season?
I think, the snow, being with family, I think, is paramount. Once you get that Thanksgiving dinner happening, it's the holidays are on.
That's true.
That's what I think.
Yeah. And do you have any relatives that make it crazy or no?
No, not really. We have a pretty raucous Christmas party.
A lot of tomfoolery?
Yeah. It used to be a lot more tomfoolery, and now I'm the adult and the kids are the kids. So it's a little different, but it's still a blast.
And Julia, you're a certified yinzer, as they say.
Absolutely.
Any Pittsburgh traditions? I know you're not in Pittsburgh anymore, but
yeah. I mean, we would always do the pickle on the Christmas tree. It's a good Eastern European tradition. If you're unfamiliar with it, you have a pickle ornament that somebody in your household hides on the tree at some point, and then whoever finds the ornament without destroying the tree or the other people, our rule in our house is you're not allowed to touch the tree. You can only walk around it with your hands behind your back. But then you get a special extra present, which is, wonderful. And Pittsburghers know what they're doing when it comes to holiday cookies too, by the way. So
I believe that.
Yeah.
I have when I'm eating at a diner or something, I have the same rule. Like you can look at my pickle, but don't touch it. Because I'm going to eat it.
How about for $10?
You can touch the pickle for $10. Yeah.
Okay. Just look for 5, touch for 10. Okay.
Too brainy.
And Lauren, as a fellow Anglophile, I know we talk about it all the time. You're from England. You were born there in Essex.
I was, as you can tell from my accent.
Any holiday traditions?
Yes, quite.
Any British holiday traditions? Not specifically British ones, besides just watching the, Great British Bake Off Christmas specials, of course. We would always go out and cut down our own trees at a tree farm.
Oh, no way.
And we continue this tradition today because
it's overrated.
Well, if I remember correctly, Julia, your husband threw the axe at the tree instead of actually getting down on his knees because he didn't want his jeans to get dirty. So there's that.
That's why you threw it.
Did it go down in one blow?
You gotta have a tarp to get on your back and really saw that thing down.
If he threw the axe and the tree fell over, that would be the man.
That would be so cool, but it definitely did not happen.
Unfortunately, that's not how it. No, Steve's
if you have to get
family.
Down on your knees, it's not an axe, really. It's more of a hatchet.
Yeah, it was actually a saw, if I remember correctly. It was like a little hand saw.
Through the hand
which made it even made it sadder. So yeah.
Well, you're cutting trees down, and Matt, you just have a house now. So how does that feel? Are you decorating it, or are you just going to leave it bare?
No, I've gone really into dad mode since I moved out here, and I'm just monitoring the thermostat 24/7. So that's really what I do over here.
You're not getting up on the roof.
No,
to hang
of
some
course
lights.
not.
No,
I did discover we had an attic, though. I found the crawl space entry, so it's been a big week for me.
Okay. Hanging out in the crawl space.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I have a place to go because they won't go because there might be spiders.
Studio.
No, that's the podcast shed, and we're still working on it.
There might be spiders or some hereditary related horrors up there. So.
Who's to say? We don't know.
And last but not least, Jeff, what makes your Christmas tingle?
Bah humbug, he said. Moving on.
Jeff is a sincere man.
I do genuinely appreciate aspects of the holidays.
All right, never mind. That's the coldest response.
No. I love the holiday season.
Quite the politician.
I love eating and giving gifts.
You sound like Mitt Romney when he said he likes humor.
Binders are full of women.
Things that are funny make me laugh.
Jokes of laughter.
Well, as I get older, I need less. I'm not as excited about the getting gifts, but giving someone a good gift, that satisfaction is immense.
Well, hey, Jeff, if you like giving gifts, I like receiving them, so I'll be waiting.
Well, speaking of giving gifts, we all have questions, and they're all gifts, but I guess we have to go throw it to the rules just in case we have a new listener listening today. This isn't like our normal episode where we're competing per se, but we still have the same rules. So
no, we don't.
We don't?
No, we're just playing for fun.
Oh, we don't need the rules?
Jimmy Stewart
Everybody
doing
else
the rules.
has to follow the rules.
All right, we'll toss it to Darren for a rules reading.
A Santa Claus
I'll
rules
put
reading.
some jingle bells underneath it or something. Or I won't.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop.
Who could say what happened? We don't know.
Depends how lazy I was feeling that day.
We'll see what future Ken feels like.
No jingle bells.
Matthew James, it's up to you to start this Polar Express.
Oh, excellent. So I wrote questions. I took some of the reindeers' names and I wrote questions that aren't holiday related at all. So here we go.
What reindeer are you referring to?
Santa's reindeer.
Oh, okay. Not
All
just
of
random
Santa's.
Reindeer?
Different reindeer I've met along the way, yeah. For my reindeer club. The first one in the category of Donner. You'll guess where this is going. As a man who normally wouldn't turn down a party, I'd have to take a pass on the Donner Party. If they hadn't succumbed to various cold and cannibal incidents, what was the final destination that this party had set out for after departing Independence, Missouri?
I think I know.
Yeah.
Do you need the city or the state?
The state is fine.
Yeah, then I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Do you know what Independence, Missouri is famous for, Neal?
Independence.
What starts in Independence, Missouri? What do you think?
What starts?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
Miserable times at my old Apple II.
Pressing space bar to shoot your gun.
River?
No.
No.
You could ford the river.
Trail.
You can also choose to caulk your axles and float across.
I mean, it's where the Harry S. Truman Presidential Library is. Just saying.
There you go.
Or you could just croak from dysentery.
Get some dysentery.
Yeah. So I'm saying Oregon. What do you guys think? Or Oregon, if you prefer.
I'm going to say California.
They were going to California.
Yeah, I was feeling more in the line of the OC's opening theme and going to say California.
I concur with California.
Just me, alone on an island.
Well, they were taking the Oregon Trail, and they made it to California. I think they were going to Oregon, though. I'm going to say the answer is Oregon. I'm pretty sure they were going to Oregon. They did die in California.
So I thought this was going to be like White Christmas, but this is Nasty Christmas from The Office.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you wrote questions without answers. And
You
you decided you were gonna wing it.
Listen,
You were just gonna.
It said they were
gonna feel it out,
They were
man.
taking the Oregon Trail, so they were going to
You
Oregon.
can't stop short of Oregon
that's
if you're
not-
on the Oregon Trail.
All right, we're going to go on to the next question. I'll
One-way
look at this in a
track.
minute.
All right.
All right.
Some emails.
Nah, I don't care.
Jeff
We
will
won't read 'em.
determine
Don't
who's
write 'em.
right and who's wrong.
Who is wrong and who is Jeff?
Who's naughty and who is nice.
Good way to get started. This next one is in Cupid. If you've been to a wedding or a school dance in the last 15 years, you've undoubtedly come across the Cupid Shuffle. Everyone knows the song, but I bet not everyone knows who made the song. Who is the person that is responsible for making everyone on the dance floor walk it out by themselves?
I don't think I know this one, really.
I do
think
know
I've
that this
blocked
guy
it
was
out.
on The Voice one season. He was on The Voice and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the Cupid Shuffle guy," and no one turned their chairs around for him, which is like the extra saddest thing. And they're like, "Oh, it's you," and he was like, "Yeah, it's me, assholes." And then he got eliminated. In it.
I'd be done. If I was making a fortune off the Cupid Shuffle, I'd just be done. Be like,
Right?
okay, I'm retired now.
That reminds me of like the Masked Singer, what you're saying, Lauren, when people's heads come off and then no one knows who they are because they're just a little slower than.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's you from the thing. Yeah. Cool.
I know who it is. I think I'm good over here.
Neal
don't know,
knows.
yeah.
I don't know.
I
have
think
no idea.
I think once again, Matt at the first question didn't give us any answers, and the second question, the answer was in the clue, and so I think it's Cupid.
Yep, he named the shuffle after himself. It's
Or
the
did he
Cupid
name
Shuffle.
himself after the shuffle?
It's possible. I don't know what came first.
Or maybe they
Who
were
knows?
concurrent. Jeff,
But
do we have a ruling on the Donner Party?
Well, you can take the Oregon Trail to either Oregon or California.
Okay.
But if they
So we
died
don't
in
know where
California, California's probably the right answer because they never made it to Oregon, right?
No, they were going to take the 5 up
They're
to
going up.
The 101 was busy.
The 101, yeah.
Wikipedia says
Terrific.
California.
Okay,
I mean, it says the opening is the Donner Party, sometimes called the Donna Reed Party. It was a group of American pioneers who migrated to California.
well,
Yeah, that's where they made it.
if you're going to use your
then they were
obscure
going
fact
north.
sites like Wikipedia, how am I supposed to compete with that? I looked at one thing and wrote this today while I was working.
Let me ask a quick question to Jeff before you move on. Did you also write a Donner Party question?
No.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
I figured he might have.
It's on brand. All right, next one is in Comet. The Houston Comets were a WNBA team that, much like their namesake, burned hot and bright and eventually dissolved. Within one, how many championships did this team win in its 11-year existence as a team?
Well, the ladies are loving this question.
I know this
'Cause
one
they're
too.
know.
literally dancing right now.
I know it's because of their episode. That's why I
Yeah,
know
We
Julia
it.
did a
did an episode on
WNBA
that.
episode this year.
I will tell you, I don't remember, but Julia knows the answer. So I'm going to dance because I'm on her team. Bow, 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 bow,
I
bow.
know the answer too.
4. I don't know.
The
I'm
answer
not sure.
Yeah, it's 4.
is 4.
Yes.
They won the first 4.
That sounded
And-
like
and
an
then
impressive but reasonable amount.
And then they lost so much that they had to go away forever. And now they don't exist anymore. Really sad.
That's
But maybe they'll come back because there's like 20 teams now. Next category is Blitzen. NFL Blitz was an iconic game that was released in 1997 that brought cartoon violence together with an NFL license. Once they lost the license due to various reasons, they came back with 2005's Blitz the League. It had made-up teams like the New York Nightmare and Baltimore Bearcats. Which former New York legend and WrestleMania main eventer was brought on to be the spokesperson for this game?
Do you know, Neal?
I don't. I'm
just trying to knowing exclamation there.
I'm just trying to think of the clues. The WrestleMania and the New York legend. You didn't say which WrestleMania, right?
Well, I can tell you it's WrestleMania 9 if that helps you.
Oh, Lauren, WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, he wrestled.
You remember your episode
Bigelow.
all about WrestleMania 9?
Of course.
The greatest WrestleMania.
Oh my goodness, with Nana and
I thought 3 with Hogan was the best one, right?
Hogan and Andre,
Yeah.
the giant. This man was also a giant.
That's the only one I know anything about by number.
From New York, possibly.
The Big Show.
Ooh,
He would do it, right?
He'd do it. I'm gonna say
He's a football player.
Oh, it's
Who's
probably. I
this-
think I know who it is.
is it the sparkly guy? Who's the sparkle guy?
Goldberg. Made of gold.
Oh, you're talking about
Goldberg
Goldust
played
and
football.
No, I'm thinking of
John Cena.
Rick.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
I don't think he played football.
Was it?
You know who did play football though? Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
He did.
Mm.
Was it Lawrence Taylor, famed New York Giants defensive player?
It was Lawrence Taylor.
LT. Nice.
LT.
LT.
What up?
LT.
That's me, but not me.
Not that one.
Just a dominant force in football and podcasting.
Yep, that's true. I can really run the ball down that field.
He was a linebacker.
Matt, can you confirm or deny whether
slam into people?
It's possible.
you wouldn't
If
believe.
there's a fumble, you can pick it up.
was he on anything that night, Matt? Do you know? Probably.
Lawrence Taylor?
Yeah.
Like on
Something.
WrestleMania?
I mean, he was on WrestleMania. I mean, was he on anything else though?
Oh, steroids probably. Yeah. And that's why he ended up being the spokesman for Blitz the League. It was a very violent game. The NFL would not have approved.
Yeah, isn't he the one that broke Joe Theismann's leg?
Yes, I believe
yes,
so.
he was. Yeah.
I feel like The Blind Side taught me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still like the most. I think it's the grossest thing I've seen in live sports. Yeah, poor Joe Theismann.
Merry Christmas to us.
Well, this next one will really bring the spirit. So Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph is an NFL tight end who is most known for playing in Minnesota for the Vikings. If you were to have a Viking over for your holiday party this season, what would be the traditional way to toast over a round of mead?
I think I know this one.
You might have heard this in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Is this the same greeting from the football stadium as well?
It is.
I think I know it.
I got it.
I should know this because
you're a Viking?
Angie played Valhalla basically while I watched it.
I can give you a hint, Jeff.
I think it's the Icelandic toast too.
I know it from the
skull.
Yeah.
Skull?
Yeah.
Skull.
Oh.
Yes. Skull to you and everyone listening.
Do you know the name of the secret society in the Vikings version of Yale?
The Skulls.
Skull and Crossbones.
Yeah. It's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
It is a
he's so
bad joke. Well, that was great. Those are my questions. Thank you guys for indulging me.
Great job, Matt.
Now let's get some good ones. Who's next?
Here, I'll go next.
Matt opened his presents. He's going to go back up to his room and play video games. Thanks, Matt, for joining us.
All right, my question.
Put all your wrapping paper in the garbage bag before you go.
Yeah, you definitely do that. Yeah.
My questions are certainly not difficult. I don't think, but I thought they were kind of fun. We can discuss them. So the first one is kind of about elves. The Huldufolk are the hidden people or elves, common in the folklore of the Faroese, as well as what island nation?
I don't know what any of
The
that
Faroe
meant.
Islands.
Oh.
We know where the Faroe Islands are, Lauren.
And
Yeah, of
what
course.
island
North
nation
Atlantic.
as well?
I think.
It's where Woody Allen is not allowed.
The Faroe Islands?
Oh.
Where Will Ferrell hangs out?
No.
No, he said Pharaoh.
Now you have DVDs, Nicole.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell and Will Ferrell have an
I
island?
thought you said Pharaoh.
Yeah, the Faroe
He did say
Islands.
Pharaoh.
Oh, okay.
Yes, F-A-R-O-E, I believe.
It's common in the folklore of the Faroese, as well as what island nation?
I'm pretty sure that I know
Samoa.
this.
Is it Samoa?
Yeah.
And
I'll say Greenland.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to say Iceland.
I was going to say that was my first inclination, and then backed up by that great Will Ferrell movie from 2 years ago. No. The one about Eurovision. I would also say Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, it is Iceland. It's kind of interesting. They see the elves as kind of simultaneously existing on a different plane. So it's said, don't throw rocks because you might hit an elf.
Oh, that makes sense because that's Rachel McAdams in the movie. She gives gifts to the elves like wine and cheese and stuff.
Yeah, for good luck.
All right. Probably my easiest question, but interesting. The best games always start as acts of defiance in this host's opinion. It is posited that the invention of what toy came about due to the illegality of studying the Torah. When people would snoop around during the studies, the Torah scrolls would be hidden and replaced with this portable toy.
I mean, I have my
You have your
inkling.
suspicions?
I have my suspicions as to what this is.
I don't know.
Is it a toy potentially made of clay?
Is it a toy that
made of clay?
Is it a toy that
And when
Julia?
it's dry and ready, you can bust it right out.
Maybe Julia has touched this toy at the Strong Museum that she works at. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about.
Is it Frankie?
Is it a dreidel?
Dreidel.
Dreidel. Made it out of clay.
Oh.
Yeah,
How
so
would you
basically,
confuse that for a
Torah?
A Torah.
what?
It's like, no,
No,
you
they'd
said-
be
you
studying,
replaced it.
the
You go-
Jews would be studying the Torah,
yeah.
but it was illegal in
Right.
that place and time. So they'd have the dreidel and be like, we're not studying here, we're just playing dice.
No, over this scroll.
No, they'd
we're
hide the
not
scroll.
reading.
Listen to the
Okay.
question. They'd
No, I
hide
get
the
it.
scroll.
I
We
thought
already
the
heard the
toy had to
question.
look
Next.
like a scroll.
Yeah.
That's what I thought as well. I thought it was a Ouija board, honestly, right at the beginning.
During the studies, the Torah scrolls would be hidden and replaced with this
Okay.
portable toy.
Have you ever played Hide the Scroll, Ken?
You got to pay the scroll toll.
Oh boy.
Is any of that usable? What are we doing here?
That is my favorite joke of the whole year.
All right. December 26th is the birthday of what Marvel Eternals actor whose most popular role is decidedly winter-themed?
I know this one.
I refuse to watch the Eternals.
Wow.
Why?
Why? It's not bad.
Principle.
I
Don't
enjoyed
care.
it.
Too long.
It's not that long.
What's the ideal movie
It's
length
only
for
as
you,
long
Matt?
as Black Panther.
93 minutes.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you. Same.
Wow.
Honestly,
That's
a
so
movie could be
specific.
as long as it needs to be, as long as it's interesting.
Right. That's my opinion.
Mm,
Meaning
I don't
I could
think
watch
that.
Eyes Wide Shut 2 times in a row.
Really? You chose Eyes Wide Shut as your example?
It's a Christmas movie.
Ken,
It's a Christmas movie.
You chose Eyes. Ken, you chose Eyes Wide Shut as your example.
At least
Come
you
on,
didn't
my man.
choose-
It's the holidays.
It's a Christmas movie.
Christmas with the Cranks I could watch 4 times in a row.
I mean, he could have named another movie he's a big fan of by Lars von Trier.
Oh
The
God.
director's cut is 5.5 hours long.
Jesus. Oh boy.
Anybody
What was
know?
the question
Can you
again?
ask a question?
No, it's the guy from the Eternals has a birthday.
Yeah,
on
I'll let you guys
Day.
discuss. I know this one, but it's not
Is
tough
it the
acting,
guy-
it's an acting.
It's not
Is it the guy that got super ripped?
Kumar
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
is
he's
it
the only one I could name that's in it right now.
Yeah.
Who's
His
Sebastian
most
Stan?
popular role is decidedly winter themed.
He's great in a British series called The Bodyguard. If you want to watch it on Netflix.
Oh,
not him.
he was in.
There's 2 guys from Winter Theme and Eternals. My bad. Okay.
He was in the Elton John movie. Joel,
Rocket Man?
Taron Egerton?
not Taron Egerton, the guy who played his boyfriend, who ended up being a
Yes.
asshole. What is his name? Richard? Nope.
That's weird.
You getting a call there, Neil?
No, my
Jamie
Spotify just
something?
started playing some song called "Up, Up and Away." The way you look.
I
That's
just
weird.
decided.
I was thinking it was that guy, Julian Lauren, but I think it's a different winter-themed actor. I was thinking it was John Madden. Richard Madden, sorry.
Richard
Richard
Madden.
Madden.
Richard Madden.
Oh,
That's it,
yeah,
Richard Madden.
Richard Madden.
But you're thinking of Kit Harington.
Yeah, Kit Harington is also in the Eternals.
Oh,
as a
I
non,
know.
he's a non-Eternal in the Eternals, and his character is Jon Snow. More importantly, however, than Kit Harington, the 26th is also the beginning of the week-long celebration of Kwanzaa, celebrating African-American heritage and African heritage. Each day is focused on a different principle chosen by its founder. Translated from Swahili into English, the 7 principles are unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Neat.
Tag yourself. I'm purpose.
I'm responsibility and hard work.
I don't know if I'm any of these.
There's a
I
great
tried.
TikTok account where a guy goes up to people in London. He's like, "Can I talk to you about your fashion?" And one time it was Kit Harington walking.
Oh, really?
And he goes up to him. He's like, "Can I talk to you about your fashion show?" He's like, "No." And then he walked. And then there's a bar behind him that said Jon Snow on it. It was really random. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. Small trigger warning for this next question for everything. So if you don't like stuff, just skip a minute in. Even the holidays need a gritty reboot. In 2019, the world was treated to a miniseries remake of what classic tale? Starring Guy Pearce, the miniseries was written by Stephen Knight, famous for such cheery films as Eastern Promises and Dirty Pretty Things, and had the notable, jolly Tom Hardy and Ridley Scott as producers. Wikipedia describes the series as follows. The drama involves adult language, brief nudity, horror elements, implications of child molestation, forced prostitution, and a depiction of a child drowning. Merry Christmas.
Subtitle of every Triviality episode.
I don't like that.
This is a TV movie?
This was a miniseries, yeah.
A miniseries.
Miniseries remake of a classic tale.
I did start watching this, and Colleen said, "Turn it off. I don't want to watch this." So I never finished it.
It's too grayscale.
Yeah, it is very grayscale.
I couldn't even begin.
I feel like
Is
I got
it A
dropped
Christmas
into a
Carol?
foreign country and I have no idea what's happening.
I
Neal?
don't know
I
this
mean,
one.
Is Neal the only one who knows?
No, I think Lauren might know.
I said A Christmas Carol, but that's the only classic that came to mind at the
Christmas
moment.
Carol.
Yes, it is
Are
Christmas
you
Carol.
serious? A gritty reboot of A Christmas Carol? I gotta look
What's
this
it
up right now.
called?
Who asked for that?
Christmas
A
Carol.
Christmas Carol.
With Guy Pearce as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's really dark.
Nobody needed that.
There's no Muppets in it.
No Muppet.
Not a
There's
single
one
Muppet.
You just gotta wait for the one Muppet to show up.
And Guy Pearce has a short-term memory in it too, which is really random.
Does he?
Oh, so weird.
It's like a memento check. I remember that.
Remember Sammy Jenkins?
Yeah.
Takes
Weird.
photographs wherever he goes. All right.
Joey Pants in the movie.
And my final question. After so many holiday celebrations, it's time to warm our bones. A brilliant device prominent in Japan, the kotatsu, is a specialized table that features what other 2 important elements to bring you some winter cozies? Does anybody know what a kotatsu features?
No.
Yeah, that's that video game website.
It's a very
Kotaku.
it's a very special table with some extra frills.
Is it a bidet? I feel like everything's a
It
bidet.
doesn't have a bidet.
If it's got it's a heated bidet.
Ken loves his bidet. Is your bidet heated, by the way?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's always bidet.
Oh, actually, mine does have capability to hook up to warm water, but I'd have to drill a hole through my cabinet to get to the warm water line.
Might be worth it.
So I'm not going to do that. No, I live in an apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you really
Frowned
want to go
upon.
fancy, you got to put that electrical outlet right there for the heated seat feature.
No, that I don't have.
So what's this table? It's a hot chocolate maker? What are we talking about here?
A kotatsu.
Makes you nice and cozy.
Cozy. Does it have like a heater under it, maybe?
It does have a heater. That's one of the things.
How about like an open flame on top for roasting your marshmallows?
No open flame. This is brilliant, and we really should get these. It
An
has
automatic nutcracker.
It has a heater underneath and a blanket, like a blanket over the top.
I was going to say a
basically,
Snuggie. Would you have counted that?
Yeah, I count a Snuggie. Basically, you sit underneath the blanket at the table, and everything underneath the blanket is toasty warm.
That sounds delightful.
That does sound nice.
Yes, it does.
That sounds way too hot.
So at this point in the game, sadly, Matt has to depart. The holiday cheer was just too much for him. He got a little tuckered out by the
eggnog
by the bottom of the Christmas tree.
Yep.
He fell asleep under the tree. So we say goodbye to Matt. But let's toss it over to Neal for some info.
Yeah, I just wanted to say we're talking about a bunch of different questions for the holiday, which is our version of gifts, but the true gifts of the holiday season are the support we get from our patrons. So just want to say thank you to all our patrons who help make the show possible. If you'd like to get a ton of extra bonus content, some stickers, boxes, all great things like that, but mostly our main feed episodes ad-free, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. And one of our longest serving patrons is Julia. So thank you, Julia, for being a patron. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
It's you, Julia.
Yes.
Yeah.
She wrote letters to Santa, and then back in the post, Santa agreed and said, come join Patreon, apparently. I don't know. That was the story I heard.
Yes, and we're incredibly thankful to her and all of our Patreon supporters who make the show possible.
Yeah, and speaking of Julia, who is a patron, if you want to join her, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast, and she is going to continue the game by doing the swing round for us today.
Yes, you guys know I love a swing round. So for our swing round today, I've got holiday foods on the brain. This isn't just foods that you would serve in December. So for this swing round, I'm going to name for you a specific food and its description. And for 5 points each, tell me with which holiday this food is most associated. So you don't have to name a country or a date, just the celebration.
Okay.
Okay.
Right? Number 1, pastel. A masa dough encasing a marinated pork and adobo stuffing wrapped in a boiled green banana or plantain leaf. Number 2, mooncake, a round tender pastry with a rich dense filling, typically made from lotus seed or red bean paste with an imprint on the pastry top. Number 3, ma'amul, a dome-shaped filled butter cookie made with semolina, containing filling made with dried dates and pistachios or walnuts. Number 4, sufganiyya, a round jelly donut deep fried in oil filled with jam or custard and topped with powdered sugar. Number 5, bonchung, a rice cake made using sticky rice, pork, mung beans, green onions, and fish sauce, wrapped up in a large green leaf, shaped into a square cake, and placed on the family altar to honor family ancestors. Number 6, a tourtière, a deep dish pie filled with spiced ground meat and potato that's typically served at Réveillon. Number 7, pan de muerto, a sweet soft bread shaped like a bun, often decorated with bone-shaped pieces and topped with sugar. Number 8, las 12 uvas de la suerte. That's 12 green grapes that you eat. You eat them. Number 9, pashka, a sweet dish made from curd cheese and dried fruit formed in a mold, traditionally in the shape of a truncated pyramid decorated with religious symbols. It's usually served with a tall bread like a kulich. And number 10, Kentucky Fried Chicken. You might need to place an order up to 2 months in advance to get the party barrel package.
All right, we'll take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with our discussion.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
What will I become? Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Look, Bumble knows you're exhausted by dating. All the, must not take yourself too seriously, and 6'1" since that matters, and what do I even say other than, hey? Well, that's why they're introducing an all-new Bumble, with exciting features to make compatibility easier, starting the chat better, and dating safer. They've changed, so you don't have to. Download the new Bumble now.
And we are back. Let's talk about some of these things. Can we get the description number 1 again?
Yeah, talk about it. Number 1, a pastel, a masa dough encasing a marinated pork and adobo stuffing wrapped in a boiled green banana or plantain leaf.
Well, that sounds good as hell.
Yeah.
But I have no idea.
Did Lizzo make it?
Good as hell.
Wow.
I mean, you can pick a holiday. Like, there's
It sounds
make guesses at things.
It sounds Central or South American.
That was my thought as well.
Maybe this is a Christmas one. A lot of Christianity down in that region, right?
Yeah. Let's do Christmas.
Okay.
The answer is Christmas. This is specifically came right out of Puerto Rico. So they're really a family tradition. You gather around the table with all your family members. You make giant batches of these throughout December to serve at Christmas time. So that masa, it's taro root and green plantain and green banana and sometimes kabocha squash. So it's all typically served with pique criollo, which is a Puerto Rican hot sauce. Also arroz con gandules, which is rice and beans. There's also roasted pork and other holiday foods. And so they're very associated with Christmas there.
Very savory.
Great job. Number 2, a moon cake, which is a round, tender pastry with a rich, dense filling, typically made from lotus seed or red bean paste and an imprint on the pastry top.
Well, the filling ingredients make me feel like Asian cuisine.
India potentially was one of the first ones that came to mind.
I'm going to say New Year's.
I was going to say Chinese New Year maybe, or just New Year's.
I'm okay guessing a New Year's type celebration.
So this one is actually the Mid-Autumn Festival, also called the Moon Festival or the Moon Cake Festival. So it's typically celebrated in Chinese culture, though there are similar holidays that exist in other Southeast Asian countries. So the Mid-Autumn Festival is held usually mid-September to early October in our calendar. And on this day, the Chinese believe that the moon is at its brightest and fullest, and it coincides with the harvest time. So lanterns of all shapes and sizes, they're carried and displayed, and they're supposed to light the path to prosperity and good fortune. And if you've ever gotten the chance to eat a mooncake, they are pretty delicious.
Pretty damn tasty.
All right, number 3, ma'amul, a dome-shaped filled butter cookie made with semolina, containing filling made with dried dates and pistachios or walnuts.
The dried dates make me think it's
maybe Mediterranean.
Turkish.
I was saying Turkey, maybe. What kind of Turkish thing do you think? I mean, is this an Islamic celebration, something like Eid?
I'll let you make that call because I'm not sure.
Lauren, anything?
Lauren's frozen with delight at the sound of that dessert. So, Jeff, make the call.
We'll guess Eid.
I'll accept that. This is specifically Eid al-Fitr, which is the end of Ramadan. So that's the Islamic holy month of fasting. And so ma'amul can be made and consumed all year long, but they are most associated with Eid al-Fitr in the celebration for the ending of Ramadan's fasting. It literally translates to the holiday of the breaking of the fast and is sometimes referred to as the sweet Eid. There is another Eid, Eid al-Adha, the Feast of the Sacrifice, which commemorates the willingness of Abraham to sacrifice his son.
According to my Islamic coworker, that's the Eid no one cares about. That's what he told me.
All right.
But Eid al-Fitr is the one that he told me is the bigger celebration, obviously, at the end of Ramadan. So,
all right.
Yeah, great job. Number 4, sufganiyya, a round jelly donut deep fried in oil filled with jam or custard and topped with powdered sugar.
For this one, I feel pretty confident. I was researching Hanukkah stuff for my dreidel question, and I think it's Hanukkah because I was like, that sounds good.
But isn't Sukkot is also a celebration, right, of some sort? Sufganiyya.
I don't know, but Julia was nodding when I was talking about Hanukkah, so.
Yeah, that was my indication as well.
Yes, this podcast famously a visual medium. Yes, it is Hanukkah. So during Hanukkah, oily foods symbolize the miracle of the lamp oil, and so typically
that's a tradition I could get behind.
Right. Some donuts.
Delicious.
They've been typically especially associated with Israel, while in America, Hanukkah tends to be associated with latkes, though obviously donuts are gaining on them here. All right. Number 5, bancang, a rice cake made using sticky rice, pork, mung beans, green onions, and fish sauce that's wrapped up in a large green leaf, shaped into a square cake and placed on a family altar to honor family ancestors.
Should we try New Year's again?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's do New Year's again.
All right.
If we just spray New Year's all over the swing round, eventually we're going to hit.
Exactly.
Yes, I will accept that. So this is specifically Tet, the Vietnamese Lunar New Year. So Tet means festival, but here it's shorthand for the Lunar New Year festival in Vietnam. So typically celebrated the same day as the Chinese New Year. Their Tet holiday traditions include ancestor worship, exchanging New Year's greetings, giving lucky money to children and elderly people, visiting your friends and relatives, and also making as much noise as possible in the streets to ward off evil spirits.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great night's sleep.
Number 6, tourtière, a deep dish pie filled with spiced ground meat and potato that is traditionally served at Réveillon.
Sounds French.
What's a French holiday?
I think I know this one because my birthday is New Year's Day, and I believe this is not French per se; it's French Canadian. I think it's New Year's Eve from Canada.
The discount French.
Wait, why do you know this?
The dollar store.
Because my birthday is on New Year's, and I always look at like how people celebrate New Year's, and this is the night before.
I will accept that. So tourtière, it's a French Canadian meat pie, specifically, from Quebec. So Réveillon can be used to refer to either Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. Specifically, the term Réveillon is first documented in the 18th century France, used by the French as a name for night-long party dinners held by the nobility. Participation involves staying awake until morning. So that's where réveiller comes from, for waking. And also that's what we're doing for Christmas Eve this year. I'm making this French Canadian meat pie.
Sounds like a good idea.
That
delicious.
Sounds awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Please
sounds
send
great.
pictures because I can't afford to give someone Cartier, but maybe I could give someone a tortilla.
Hey, yo.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's tortilla.
Tortilla.
Number 7, a pan de muerto, a sweet soft bread shaped like a bun, often decorated with bone-shaped pieces and topped with sugar.
Is Dia de los Muertos?
I heard
Yes,
muerto.
I'm going to say
on the nose.
Dia de los Muertos.
This is the Rihanna song.
I wish all my food had bone-shaped pieces in it.
They can.
You guys-
if you eat meat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you ate meat, you could get all the bone you wanted, man. That's how that works.
You guys are right. It's the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. So pan de muerto translates to bread of the dead. So Dia de los Muertos, widely observed in Mexico on November 1st and 2nd. It's a holiday of joyful celebration rather than mourning. Your traditions there include honoring the deceased using sugar skulls and marigold flowers, building home altars with the favorite foods and beverages of the departed, and also visiting graves with these items as gifts for the deceased.
You remember that Great British Bake Off video game crossover, right? Where all the contestants that didn't make it get another shot. Red Dead Redemption.
Oh man,
have a piece of coal.
You get a piece of coal.
Yeah,
you
get
a
coal.
piece of coal.
You get coal.
All right, number 8, las 12 uvas de la suerte. That's 12 green grapes, and you eat them.
It sounds
That's-
Italian.
This one sounds less delicious.
That's
it's
New
just
Year's Eve, I
grapes.
think.
Oh, that's right. Lauren, you're Italian.
I am Italian.
She's
but
Italian, but I'm not. But she knows that my Spanish accent is notoriously awful.
yeah, yeah. I know this from.
I speak Spanish with a French accent.
Yes.
So
That's all right. I speak Spanish with an Italian accent, so it's not that big of a deal. I learned this from Modern Family.
Yeah, it's New Year's Eve. So it's the 12 grapes of luck. Most versions of the practice involve eating 12 grapes right at midnight, oftentimes in sync with the 12 strikes of the hour. But please don't choke trying to do it. Please sign a waiver first. But if you do it, it's said to guarantee good luck in the coming new year.
You're not going to catch me eating grapes on New Year's.
You don't think so?
No, that's. I'm going to pass on that.
That's
one.
for sissies.
New TikTok challenge.
Especially if they're frozen, because I have very sensitive teeth.
I'm gonna force feed you grapes on New Year's.
Force feed you.
Look, if you centrally feed me grapes, then I'll eat the grapes off the vine.
This is getting into a level that
we weren't.
I don't think we should be here for. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should leave the room.
All right, number 9. Number 9, pashka, a sweet dish made from curd cheese and dried fruit formed in a mold, traditionally in the shape of a truncated pyramid, decorated with religious symbols and usually served with a tall bread like a kulich.
We haven't got in Easter yet. I don't know if this is the one.
It sounds like it could be like a Polish Easter tradition.
Yeah, that sounds right. I like that.
Great job, guys. This is Easter, specifically in the Slavic countries.
Nice.
So pashka is a type of creamy egg and dried fruit custard that's made to celebrate the end of Lent. There's a truncated pyramid mold, often decorated with the 3-bar cross and the Cyrillic letters XB, which basically stand for Christ is risen. And so it's said to represent the tomb of Jesus Christ in the Eastern Orthodox tradition.
Is it just me, or is that region very big on molded foods?
Oh, we love a molded food. Can we put
food.
something in gelatin? Potato? Oh, everything.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, question 10, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I was excited about this one.
Yeah. You might need to place an order up to 2 months in advance to get this party barrel package.
This, for sure, is a
Christmas.
Japanese Christmas tradition.
Definitely.
Wild.
Definitely. And I had to look up why, obviously. So according to KFC Japan, in 1970, the manager of the first KFC in the country had an idea that came to him in a dream, a party barrel to be sold on Christmas. So he had overheard some foreigners in his store like talking about how they missed having like turkey for like Thanksgiving and Christmas. And he hoped that a Christmas dinner of fried chicken could be a substitute. So he began marketing his party barrel as a way to celebrate the holiday. And the campaign went countrywide in 1974 as Kurisumasu Niwa Kentucky for Christmas. And since there was no real tradition of Christmas per se in Japan, this campaign really filled a void. And also it's
a very successful ad campaign, essentially. Yeah.
For real. And some locations have their Colonel Sanders dressing up as Santa Claus too. But yeah, you got to place your order like months in advance.
This is like when I went to White Castle a couple times for Valentine's Day because they had a Valentine's Day dinner with my parents went for fun. It's kind of a joke at first, but then they went a couple years in a row and we went.
And speaking of which, speaking of such things, Christmas is also like more of a couple's holiday in Japan. As opposed
interesting.
To like a family holiday because it has less religious affiliation.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's cool.
Well, that concludes
Great job,
the
everybody.
swing round. 100 points for everybody.
Great swing round. That was wonderful. Thank you for the flavor text as well.
I love flavor text, guys.
It helps.
Most of my quizzes are mostly flavor text.
It's a very flavorful swing round.
It's like a Christmas or a holiday celebration. You get together, you have some apps, you talk, but then you have the big meal, and that was our big meal. Very flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's
Delicious.
next? Who's next in this Yankee swap of questions?
Shall I?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sounds good.
We're trying to save the best for last. So.
Absolutely. I didn't want to go last. It was too much pressure, and I know I didn't, do that good of a job. So, all right. My first question here in the second round is about a specific winter festival. So this winter festival, having its indigenous roots with early Germanic peoples, can be found in the historical records as far back as the 5th to 6th centuries. The celebration period lasts somewhere around 2 months, falling along the end of the modern calendar year between what is now mid-November and early January. Scholars have connected the event period to the Wild Hunt, and it's potentially named for the god Odin in the Norse tradition. So my question is, what is the winter festival name?
Okay. Well, I know Saturnalia is a thing, but I think that's more ancient Rome sort of deal, not Germanic, not pagan. Maybe pagan. But I'm not sure. Do you know?
I feel like
Julia? Lauren?
Lauren and I could, if only we were in the same room in our brains.
I know we could Google each other.
Okay. Odin is like to Woden, and then what do we get from that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Julia. I know that's as far as we got collectively from in different parts of this town. I'm just trying to think. So I feel like this came up during our Mythology May, but that was several years ago. That was a successful theme month.
And he said in connection with the Wild Hunt as well.
Yes, the Odin's Wild Hunt. It's depicted in art pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not helpful at all.
Yeah,
I can offer in the season of generosity a small hint.
Sure.
So you probably know this more for a specific thing you do, maybe to bring you luck in the new year, or maybe you just put it on Netflix for several hours.
Oh. Approximately 2.5
Oh, is it Yule?
hours.
Is it Yule?
It is Yule is that celebration.
Oh, nice. Great job.
Well done.
Yule. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sticking in the theme of kind of the end of this year, but I went a little bit outside of that. The 30th of July, 2022 was the start of the current Islamic New Year. The Islamic calendar is a lunar calendar beginning every year in which month, which also contains the Islamic observation of Ashura.
You got me, buddy. I don't know. It would just be a straight guess on my part.
What month does the calendar start?
Yes.
That's right.
What is the first month of the Islamic calendar?
Is it August?
Might as well be.
I trust Lauren.
Jeff?
It was July this year.
July.
It moves around a little bit because it's a lunar calendar.
So there was no answer.
The name of the first month is Muharram.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Oh, you wanted it in. Okay. Okay.
We weren't going to get there, but I'm glad that now I know.
How do you say it again? Muharram?
Muharram.
Muharram.
Yeah. I had to put one in that was mostly learning.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that's what this episode
Good.
is about.
Mhm.
We want to learn some
This is
stuff.
a real vegetable eating kind of
Explore the world.
round, huh?
Back to a tradition we've touched on before, Hanukkah. Hanukkah is an 8-day Jewish celebration that commemorates the recovery and reestablishment of the Second Temple in the 2nd century BC by the Maccabees. It usually falls in November or December and is commonly referred to as the Festival of Lights. What does Hanukkah translate to in English?
Oh, I know it because I read it today. I think.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Neal?
Good. I think it was devotion
You're very close.
or dedication.
Dedication is
Ah,
correct.
Nice. Nice.
Yes,
job.
due to I said reestablishment was the word I chose, but the dedication of the Second Temple.
Okay.
So
Mm.
very nicely done.
Awesome.
All right.
Good thing I read it today. I will forget it by tomorrow.
All right. Here's a very obscure. I'll just get into it.
Let's go, Jeff.
All right. How would you turn a naughty gift into a nice one? Assuming Santa was of sufficient mass and temperature, and that coal could turn into diamonds, and he sat down on the naughty kid's coal, how much force would Santa need to exert? I'm also assuming he's already at the needed 2,000 to 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'd like to see an answer within 100,000 pounds per square inch, because Santa doesn't do metric.
I almost.
Lauren, would you rather have this or another question about WrestleMania 9?
Oh,
So
gee,
Santa's
that's a
clenching the
tough.
coal between his butt cheeks.
Between his warm buttocks.
I'm gonna go with the WrestleMania if we're choosing
You said what?
TBA.
How many? 100 pounds?
Within 100,000 square.
Within 100,000 pounds per square
100,000
inch.
within 100,000.
Within 100,000? That's a pretty good variability.
So we're gonna say 1.5 million pounds.
I'm gonna
per
say-
square inch.
I'm gonna say 900,000 pounds per square inch.
Any other takers?
I'll say 1.2 million pounds per square inch.
Pounds of raw Santa.
6.02 times 10 to the 23rd.
Ooh, Julia,
A mole
so specific.
of PSI.
Poundage. A mole of Santa poundage.
Ken, you were exactly double correct.
Come on.
It's 725,000 pounds per square inch is what it would take to turn carbon into a diamond at those temperatures
I
and
would
pressures.
say I was
So
closest, but
you were. LT was definitely closest.
If I could only generate that much force, I'd be rich. Got to keep climbing, strengthening my grip.
Mhm.
All right, and this last question here is a dedication to Julie and Lauren. It's based on their very successful Dictator December.
God.
So
Well loved.
Christmas is a time for reflection and the giving of gifts. On Christmas Day 1989, the Romanian people gave the world a great gift by executing Romanian communist politician and dictator by firing squad.
oh my god.
Which Romanian communist politician and dictator?
I'll let Julie and Lauren take this.
The deposed leader was tried and convicted of economic sabotage and genocide by his fellow countrymen.
Was this Ceausescu?
It is Ceausescu. He didn't make the cut for a full episode, but
No, he didn't. It was just actually, no, I think either you or I looked into it and we were like, this is too terrible. Like, I'm already doing Pol Pot. We need to like really roll this back.
Also, there were 5 Tuesdays that December too. Like when we
we were like, oh my God, we have to do another one. It was awful. Never again. It was very popular too. Like so many people are like, are you guys doing Dictator December again? We're like, no.
How many do you want us to do?
Depressing December.
I know.
Do you know the name?
They said it already.
Yeah. We said Ceausescu.
Yeah, it's a Nikolai Ceausescu.
Okay.
So,
since we're on the topic, while I was researching my my December birthdays for my Jon Snow question, I believe Mao was also born on the 26th.
Good. Oh boy.
So, just throwing that out there.
So, was that your final question, Jeff? To end on
that was the final of my 5.
End on a heavy note there. Well, that means we have to throw it to LT over here. So, what do you have in store for us?
Oh, guys, I'm just so excited to share with you this. We've had our share of WrestleMania questions this evening, and we've had our share of movie and video game and questions that have a Japanese flavor to them. But now we're in my corner, and today I'm going to go with a round that I'm calling TBD, either Christmas or Con, Lifetime or Lies, or Hallmark or Hyperbole.
Nice.
And I should be telling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recount the plot and actors of a Hallmark Christmas movie. And you're going to tell me if it is real or something that I made up. Now, I've been told by my husband that I've actually kind of stolen this inadvertently from Justin McElroy of My Brother and Me, because he did a round on that a couple years ago, I guess, called That's a Christmas to Me. So I should give him the props, even though it was more of a little bit of lateral thinking there. Anyway, so I'm going to give you the title, and I'm going to give you a brief description, and you're going to tell me if it is real or something that I made up.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
I forgot
Number
Neal would be
one.
good at this.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I should probably refrain, but we'll see what happens.
Number 1, Christmas in Kringle. When big city lawyer Holly Danforth, Danica McKellar, gets a life-changing job interview in California on Christmas Eve, she jumps at the chance to advance her high-flying career. Unfortunately, bad weather and a travel mix-up lands her in small-town Kringle, PA, the night before the big interview. Luckily, charming military vet Rudy Carroll, David O'Donnell, and his adorable daughter Kaylee offer her a room in their lakeside cabin, where hot chocolate and cozy fireside chats hint at the promise of something more than career for Holly. Will Holly make it to her important interview, or will she give up the opportunity of a lifetime for love?
These are like before we started rolling, we were talking about the like sleep podcasts that tell you boring stories to get you to sleep. That's kind of like that.
I don't want to.
So you watch a lot of these.
I had to pitch 10 of them for a company before, and I watched 40 of them in over 2 weeks and created a formula.
Wow.
So I know a lot of them, so I'll refrain.
I feel like this one is real. I feel like I remember seeing Danica McKellar in a Hallmark Christmas movie type thing.
The question is she going to be making up the stars too?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like names?
I'm making up the. They're all real actors. I will say.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But they're they may or may not be actually in a Hallmark movie.
That sounds great to me. I think that should be real.
Real.
I'm gonna say that Lauren is just a very good writer, and that was fake.
And if it is fake, you should pitch it. Or have Neal pitch it. Sell it to Neal.
Okay.
Right.
It is in fact fake.
Oh, wow.
It is in fact fake. It is fake. Oh, and I should say, because I read these to Steve ahead of time and he gave me some edits. I will say that there is at least one fake and at least one real.
Okay.
I'm not gonna, there isn't,
Okay.
it isn't lies. Okay. Number 2, a New Haven holiday. Connecticut bakery owner Nikki Harding, Candace Cameron Bure, just doesn't have the holiday spirit this year since it's the first Christmas since her husband Aaron died unexpectedly. Still grieving, she swears off baking any holiday cookies for their town's Christmas celebration, despite the urgings of her mother Janice, Jean Smart, and son Hunter. When handsome firefighter Rick Stern, Josh Kelly, comes in to order treats for the station, it seems like he has the perfect recipe to win Nikki's heart. But after a surprising discovery and a bittersweet revelation, will love come back to Nikki this Christmas?
Did the husband die?
Casting.
Did the husband die of poisoned cookies? Is the twist?
I don't know. You're gonna have to watch it.
Oh, they don't kill people off in Hallmark movies.
No,
not on screen.
They kill the husband off
They're always pre-dead. Yeah, they're always widowers.
It's off screen. It's never, you don't see someone get shot in the face or anything like that.
Ever since my dad passed away, yeah.
Yeah.
In the middle of the Hallmark movie, somebody puts their head blown clean
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
Actually, speaking of
Like
that,
scanner style.
Vince Vaughn produced a movie. They took an actual Hallmark script and then they added comedy into it and made it like an R-rated comedy, like an actual Hallmark script, and it's coming out I think this year. Him and someone, Justin Long, I think too.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
What do you think, Neal?
I'm
gonna say real for all these because they all sound great.
My gut is telling me Candace Cameron just left for a new network. I think it's called like CAG or something because Hallmark was not Christian enough, which is a true story.
A lot about this.
And I believe knowing Gene Smart winning Emmys for Hacks, this had to have been like 10 years ago if it ever happened. I don't think Gene Smart's doing a Hallmark movie while she's winning Emmys right now, so I'm going to say it's fake.
Anybody else?
I'm going to say it's real. I'm just going to stick on the real train.
I'm going to stand beside Neal, always.
I think it's fake.
It is fake. I did make that up.
That's another great one. Another great one.
Thank you.
I was mad because
Thanks.
the casting. I loved it.
Okay, number 3, Jolly Good Christmas. David Burnside Will Kemp is an American architect who recently moved to London for a prime opportunity at a prestigious firm, Fitzsimmons & Associates. With just 3 days before Christmas, he crosses paths with Anji Patel, Resh Machete, a professional shopper who raises an eyebrow over his choice of a gift card for his girlfriend, Charlotte, Sophie Hopkins, who also happens to be the boss's daughter. David ultimately decides to hire Anji and, thanks to a series of unexpected events, finds himself on a wild adventure across jolly old London as Anji helps him search for the perfect present. But when the pair discover an unexpected emotional connection between them, will Christmas shopping lead to love?
I'm going to say fake, and here's why. Hallmark isn't shelling out the dough to film in London.
Ooh,
what do you think about that?
That's a good
Neal?
point.
That is a good point. Will Kemp is, you might remember him from Step Up 2. He was the older brother.
I don't remember him from Step Up 2.
He's been in a lot of Christmas princess movies. And that's a great call on the cast, though. It would have to be a Netflix movie if it's a real one, because they're shelling out money, even though they're filming in Budapest, but it's looking like London. What are you thinking, Julia? I think this one might be fake. This is the closest one to real, I'm thinking, but
I'm gonna say fake because he's an architect.
Oh no, that's a classic trope.
Right, exactly.
That's why Lauren's preying on our.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, you're all going fake?
I'll say fake, yeah.
I'm going real.
It is real. Jolly Good Christmas is in fact real and is a Hallmark movie.
That one sounds worse than the ones that you pitched, though.
Yeah,
I know, right? Mine are way better.
I would easily watch either of those other two before this one.
Well, we got 2 more. So here we go. Number 4, A Majestic Christmas. Christmas in the charming town of Briar Falls will be bittersweet this year when architect Neal, Jerrica Hinton, goes back to her hometown having been given the job of turning the historic Majestic Playhouse into a modern multiplex, much to the town's objections. This job is Nell's first promotion and one she wishes she hadn't been chosen for, especially when she meets the new owner of the theater, Connor, Christian Vincent, whose vision and ideas clash with Nell's. Since Connor hasn't had much experience celebrating Christmas, Neal gives him a crash course in Christmas during the town's 12-day festival. Will she change his mind about modernizing the Majestic and maybe find that Christmas tradition can lead to love?
You know, when I was getting my oil changed one time, I might have seen a little bit of this one on the screen. And if not, it was similar to this one. It looked like she was upset about this job and stuff, but the guy was handsome. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's always gonna be handsome.
I mean, they're always handsome. You're never going to find an Uggo in a Hallmark movie.
Wait a minute. In that one, the guy was sending her weird, elaborate gifts. Like he was doing the 12 Days of Christmas or something. I don't know. I'm going to say real.
I think I know for sure, but I'll see what Julia and Jeff think.
A lady architect, guys. That's a man's job in a rom-com.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Hot take.
Fake.
Only men can use rulers and
Women
T-squares.
can't be architects in romantic comedies.
Can they be
that's
interior
true.
designers or wedding planners?
Yes.
They run an art gallery.
Art gallery runners.
Florist. Charming florist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Baker with
Baker.
Fun personality.
So I think this movie does something that I'm happy about, which is changes the how do I put this? The makeup of every Hallmark movie for the last 25 years, and it points it in a new direction. So I'm going to say it's real.
Mm.
What specifically do you mean?
Female architects.
It's just not an all-white cast with 2 white people in the leads. It's a more diverse movie, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Neal is correct. This is real. And yes, both of the leads are black.
Mm-hmm.
And
See,
she
I don't
is
know
a female
any
architect.
of the actors that you're talking about. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, like 90% of these have Vanessa Hudgens, Lacey Chabert, or Candace Cameron Bure or whatever as their lead.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, funny you should say that because number 5, Christmas Kiss. Tom Garland, Wes Brown, is the 3rd generation owner of the biggest toy store in Appleton, Ohio, Garland's Gifts. This Christmas, hardworking Tom is extra busy, especially since he is about to take over the business from his father, Richard, Jack Wagner, and marry his wealthy college girlfriend, Veronica, on New Year's Day. But when Tom and the night shift toy maker, Allison, Lacey Chabert, accidentally get locked in Garland's Gifts together overnight on Christmas Eve, Tom discovers that Christmas isn't just about toys and expensive presents. Will Tom go through... You'll see. Will Tom go through with his New Year's plans, or will Allison show him the true meaning of Christmas?
Love.
Sorry, it's just Christmas this time, but also love. Let's be real.
I like it. I like it to be real. It's never a sex shop though.
No, it's no. It's
Allison
a toy shop.
runs a sex shop.
That would be a good one.
So mad that there wasn't a night before Christmas question.
It's like strap on for Christmas or.
Oh my goodness! Come on now.
I hate to admit this because I did the research. It was for a specific thing, so it's not like I watch these movies all the time. My mom does, and I know other people who love them too.
Oh, I know a few moms that do.
I think this is what I'm going to say. This is going to sound stupid. I think this one's fake, but there is a movie called A Christmas Kiss with Brendan Farr from like 2010 or something that is real. But I think this one is fake.
Okay,
that's my.
I say real.
All right, I'll go fake with Neal.
Jewel,
I'll say fake.
It is in fact fake. I did make that up.
Let me just double check because I want to make sure at least I'm not crazy.
See, I called you on your BS about getting locked in the store, and then I just went real anyways.
And you know what? What's funny? I also pitched this to my coworker Carrie, and she said that she was like, "No, that's fake." I was like, "What made you think it was fake?" She goes, "Overnight, just one that's too short amount of time to base an entire movie around." I was like, "Ooh." That is a good point, but I kept it anyway.
These are Hallmark movies, so it doesn't have to have rhyme or reason.
That's what I said. So
Lauren, 2011, there was a movie called A Christmas Kiss with Elizabeth Rome, Laura Breckenridge, Brendan Farr, and here's the little synopsis: an aspiring designer impulsively kisses a man she meets in a lift, only to discover he is her boss's boyfriend. She is given the task of decorating his house for a lavish Christmas party, but begins to fall in love with him while he does not remember their previous encounter.
Oh. I wonder what's going to happen.
I think there's a sequel too, so who knows?
I'd like to see Neal try to find the Hallmark movie that I saw like 10 minutes of, just based on my recollections of it.
Mm-hmm. But I bet he could figure it out.
That's for another podcast.
Yeah, we could try that after the show.
That's your Patreon for December.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it was like a redheaded girl. Kinda, yeah.
Those are so good, Lauren. Thank you for putting those together, and they're really accurate as well.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I was on the Hallmark website looking for like C and D grade actors to really flesh out my scripts. So thanks.
Speaking of which, I just saw the movie Bros.
Oh
Billy
yeah,
Eichner movie. Mm-hmm. Very funny.
Yeah,
and I was like, who's the other guy though? Like, where'd this guy come from? He's in a ton of those movies.
Yeah, he is.
There's a ton of
them. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't remember his name, but he's great in it. It's a very funny movie.
It's like Luke something. Yeah. Well, I'm here for the final round. I guess, do I give you the categories? And there's no real wagers, though, I suppose, right?
We wager everything.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you the categories anyway. So I just want to say my final round here is inspired by Julia and Lauren. As a podcaster, I'm going to be honest. I don't really listen to podcasts anymore after 5 years of doing this, except for like a very small handful. I listen to Misinfo every week, and I love it, and I have. And this is in honor of them for joining us today. So our categories are going to be their last 5 episodes for the title. So category 1 is Who's Afraid of That One Writer and the Bloomsbury Group? It's a movies question. Question number 2, The Queen Supreme, which is going to be about holidays. Question 3, Watch Me Work, the WNBA. It's a sports question. Number 4, Supergirl Sleuth. It's going to be a literature and plays question. And number 5, Hanna-Barbera, television royalty. It's going to be an actor's question. So if you're playing at home, those are the categories you're going to want to wager on. So here is question 1 from Who's Afraid of That One Writer in the Bloomsbury Group. And I do want to say I get made fun of all the time for long questions. So for this holiday season, I'm going to just give you longer questions. You're going to have to eat the coal. So here you go.
Why are you saying eat the coal?
I don't know. I just didn't make you
eat coal.
We're not making fun of you.
Just get coal.
We love the Neal questions,
It's
especially
either-
because like sometimes they just take a hard left.
Oh, they're all going to take a hard left. You either have to eat the coal or put it between your butt cheeks like Santa. So it's from Jeff's question. Okay.
I didn't specify how he made the diamonds.
Oh, was that just Ken said it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 1. Not to be confused with the Algonquin Round Table, the Bloomsbury Group was a group of English writers, intellectuals, philosophers, and artists, including John Maynard Keynes, E.M. Forster, Lytton Strachey, and of course Virginia Woolf. If you search online, you can see a ton of letters that Woolf wrote to friends and colleagues around Christmas time, including her nephew Quentin, son of her brother-in-law and frequent flirtation, Clive Bell. One of them states, "This is a black, foggy Christmas week, and the human race is distracted and unlovable. That is, I spent yesterday in Oxford Street buying things like gloves and stockings." If you swap out Oxford Street for Bloomingdale's and Virginia Woolf with Kate Beckinsale, and you have the meet-cute ingredients for what romantic comedy Christmas movie also starring John Cusack?
Jesus, such a long way around. All right, let's get the next one.
Okay, number 2. The Queen Supreme is in reference to the iconic performer Diana Ross. You may know her daughter, Emmy Award-winning actress Tracee Ellis Ross of Blackish fame. When talking about the holidays, Tracee mentioned that in their household, they had a Christmas tree in the living room and a menorah in the kitchen, as her dad is music executive Robert Ellis Silberstein. Speaking of menorahs, can you tell me how many candles are on a menorah? Number 3, in the category of Watch Me Work, the WNBA. Karima Christmas Kelly is an American professional basketball player who last played for the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA. But in 2012, 3 months before Christmas, she received the gift of a WNBA championship with what team, known for their rises in temperature? This team plays their home games in the crossroads of America, sharing a stadium with their brother NBA team, once home to a superstar known as the Nick Killer. Question 4 in Supergirl Sleuth. In 1938's Hercule Poirot's Christmas, the book opens with 2 things. A playful dedication to Agatha Christie's brother-in-law, James Watts, where she says, "You complained that my murders were getting too refined, anemic, in fact. You yearned for a good violent murder with lots of blood, a murder where there was no doubt about it being murder. So this is your special story, written for you. I hope it may please." And also an epigraph with this quote, "Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?" Which is not only said by one of the suspects in the book, but this is a direct quote from What Shakespeare Tragedy, his shortest. And number 5 in Hanna-Barbera. At 22 minutes of episode 231 of Misinformation, the show almost became obsolete when audiences learned that Lauren really doesn't like Hanna-Barbera, and according to Julia, hates fun. After being so excited to do research on the famous cartoon empire, Julia was gutted, and the pair was almost unable to finish the episode, and fans around the world would have been left weeping. To appease Julia and preserve their friendship, Lauren mentions that her favorite is the Flintstones, and also bravely admits to being a Hitler hater. Speaking of the Flintstones, in 1994, they had a made-for-TV movie called A Flintstones Christmas Carol, which starred what Welsh actor known for such iconic characters as Gimli and Sala, portraying a character named Charles Brickens in Bedrock's community theater production of A Christmas Carol.
All right, we'll take a quick break, think about these, and we'll be back with our conversation.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
One particular argument, he ended up dislocating Ava's jaw. Ava, she was such a tough cookie. Rather than cry or scream or anything like that,
Or call the police.
Or call the police like she should have, exactly. What does she do? She takes an ashtray and she knocks him over the head and knocks him unconscious. That's how she fought back. She didn't know what to do, so she called Louis B. Mayer. I think I've killed Howard Hughes. What do I do?
Revisit a time when the pictures were still big and everyone was ready for their close-up. When you want Tyrone Power instead of Tom Hardy, Jennifer Jones instead of Jennifer Lawrence, or Robert Mitchum rather than Robert Pattinson, then From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
All right, guys, we're back. Some of these we need to talk about. Some of them I think we got from the clues, but let's have a shorter version. Neal, if you could abridge your questions a little bit.
Of course. So number one, it was a Virginia Woolf quote, but I said if you swapped out Oxford Street for Bloomingdale's, added Kate Beckinsale and John Cusack, what romantic comedy Christmas movie would you get?
I mean, if I'm thinking Kate Beckinsale, John Cusack rom-com, I'm thinking Serendipity.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to say.
One. I haven't seen it, but I've seen the cover a lot.
Did they also do Must Love Dogs, or am I thinking of a different actor?
Different lady.
Different lady.
Different lady. I think you're thinking of, I think it's Catherine Zeta-Jones, maybe? Or that's America's Sweet Hats. Sweet Hats. Sorry, Sweet Hats.
America's Sweet Hats.
That's what it's called in Boston.
America's Sweet Hats. Serendipity is correct. Great job. And it's Diane Lane from Must Love Dogs.
Yeah.
Question 2 was in the Queen Supreme. I was just asking you how many candles are on a menorah?
So there's one for each day.
Yeah.
So that's 8. And then there's a central candle, which is of a higher elevation, I believe.
The king candle.
It's bigger and taller. Yep. So I think it's 9.
9 in charge of all the other candles.
Mm-hmm.
All correct. So 9 on the last night. The middle candle that is raised slightly higher than the others is called the shamash and is used to light all the others. All right. Number 3 was the WNBA question. I'm basically looking for the team that Karima Christmas Kelly played for. And the clues I gave you were the team is located in the crossroads of America and shares a stadium with a famous NBA player who was once known as the Nick Killer. So what is the WNBA team?
So
you said something about having a hot
rise in body temperature.
Rise in body temperature. The fever?
Yes, I believe that might be right because it's Indiana is the crossroads of America.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure what he's talking about is they play where the Pacers play, and I can't remember which one was the Nick Killer, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think the Indiana fever sounds right.
When I drive through Indiana, I do feel sick.
I mean, you and me both, right?
Yeah, I think you guys are right. And I think the Nick Killer is Reggie Miller.
Ah, that sounds right.
Correct from everyone. Yes, it is Reggie Miller. And the answer is the Indiana fever.
Nice.
Yeah, at first I was like rising temperature. I was like, oh, the mercury. And I was like, that's not in the crossroads of America.
Question 4 was about Hercule Poirot's Christmas. And Agatha Christie has a habit of putting Shakespeare quotes into a lot of her work. This quote that is an epigraph and used in the book is, "Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?" So what Shakespeare tragedy is this from? And it is from his shortest.
I think it's the play that will not be named.
Yeah, I think it's Macbeth.
Oh, that is a pretty short one.
It makes sense, though. I was trying to think of Shakespeare plays with old man murders. So
all of them.
Surprisingly, a lot of them. Weirdly
turns
enough.
out, yes.
A lot of old men die.
His shortest play is Macbeth. That's correct.
And in this humble podcaster's opinion, his best work.
It's Colleen's favorite. And question 5, I gave you a little rundown of the time Julia and Lauren almost broke up very recently. It's a great episode if you want to listen to it.
Yep.
And as Lauren says, I like the Flintstones, when she was totally lying. The question is...
Lauren, I agree with you, by the way.
Thank
I'm not a lover of the Hanna-Barbera.
Come on. Not even wacky races?
None of them.
I'm 5 minutes into my episode. I'm so excited. And she goes, "Can I tell you? I don't care about this topic at all. I don't."
Just did a week of research.
I don't like it.
So I heard LT so clearly when you were like, "Can I tell you?"
All right. So the Flintstones question was, in a Flintstones Christmas Carol, there was an actor who played Charles Brickens, and it's the famous actor from such characters as Gimli and Sala. Do you know that actor's name?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Are we talking about Gimli?
So he's like a Lord of the Ring. Gimli, he's one of the lords. He's one of the ring guys.
Gimli, what are you saying? Imsala?
He played such iconic characters as Gimli and Sala.
Oh, and Sala. Okay, so that's probably Indiana Jones, the second one, right? So that's John Rhys Davies. Right?
Is it John Rhys Davies?
That's
Davis.
pretty Welsh sounding.
You are correct, John Rhys Davies. Yeah. Well done. Those are all my questions.
Awesome. Thank you for all the shout outs, Neal. That was very sweet.
Of course. Of course.
All right. Thank you, Neal. And that'll do it for this holiday episode. It's a wonderful tradition. I enjoy it. This is the 6th year, right?
6th year, I believe. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Whew. And we'll keep having you guys back and back and back every time if we could. So,
I mean, your listeners have demanded it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been specially requested. So
absolutely,
they are our favorite collab and most requested. So,
and can you give details on people checking you out? Like, where can they find you and all that good stuff?
Well, you can find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Social media, as we all know, it's just really, who knows if you can find us on social media anymore. Mm-hmm. As of this recording, we're still on Twitter at MisInfoPod. We're still on Facebook at Misinformation and Trivia Podcast.
All right.
We have an email address, misinfopod@gmail.com. Only send us nice things.
That's a good policy.
Who would send rude things? That's so mean.
Yeah, who would? Well, thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to quote the movie, not really quote, I suppose, but It's a Wonderful Life. There's a moment when George Bailey looks at an inscription in a book from the guardian angel Clarence that says, George, dear
Hold
George.
on. You're not going to do it in the voice?
Well, he doesn't say it, though, so I guess I can.
Just doing the voice.
I
don't care if he says it or not. I want to hear the voice.
Remember my name. No man is a failure who has friends. It's too old, Jimmy Stewart. That's okay though.
That was really good.
Super old.
Thanks for the wings.
Great though.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mr. Potter.
That's a post-mortem, Jimmy Stewart.
I still got my legs, you asshole. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
Yay.
Neal.
You're welcome.
And that'll, I guess, do it for... It's sad to say goodbye, but that'll do it. I hope you guys all enjoyed this extra long episode. I want to once again thank Julia and Lauren for joining us as always.
Thanks, guys.
No matter what you celebrate, we hope you have a wonderful end to 2022, and we're looking forward to more shenanigans in the new year.
Yeah. We love you both. I love you, Jeff. I love you, Neal. Matt, you're all right wherever you are. And that'll do it for the episode. For all these folks, I'm Ken, and that was Triviality. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye.